Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk movies, television, and wrestling. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for Hazbin Hotel Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share them, leave a like. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on Hazbin Hotel, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, I think these are easily the best two episodes of the season thus far, because what is the main thing that we've been talking about that we felt like this show has been lacking is the lack of a threat throughout the whole entire season. Because, you know, it's like, okay, well, which way are we going to lean to? You know, the first arc, episodes 1 and 2, I feel like, okay, Lute's going to be the main villain, if you will, because, you know, she still has something to prove. She's trying to show the divide between heaven and hell, while heaven is actually really trying to be like, oh, wow, you know, redemption can happen. We owe a lot of apologies. What are we going to do about that? And then, you know, we have Vox in the background as well. Maybe just as like a little hell protagonist. It's just some of our heroes to just deal with while Heaven is trying to figure out what they are going to do. And then last week, episodes 3 and 4, it's like, okay, no, we're doubling down. Vox is going to be the main villain, or the V's for that matter. But after this arc, it really does seem like it is just Vox who we have to really worry about. And if that was the way that we were going to go, fine. But I never really felt a threat when it came to Vox after 3 and 4. He just felt like a guy who just, you know, wanted power and, you know, was just parading Alistair around. Like, look at my new trophy. Look at my new trophy. And then here, in episodes 5 and 6, the penultimate arc, right? Because next week is the finale, which does have some worries. Not going to act like I don't have any whatsoever. But you know, here we actually made him a threat. We actually beefed him up. We actually made him say, like, oh, wow, how are we going to stop this guy? He now has the army. He now has the weapons. He now supposedly has access to heaven, even though I'm pretty sure last season all that Lucifer could do was go, hey, I can get you a meeting, but I can't get you in. So I am curious to see how that is going to play within it, but we have played pretty loose and goosey when it comes to the consistency of this season. I forgot something else that happened in this show. Like, I know last week where we had our Killjoy and Charlie meet, and they like admit it seemed like they met for the first time, but in episode 0 on YouTube, they have met. That was the whole setup of episode 0, was that Charlie was going on the news to promote the hotel, right? So, and I think there was one more thing that I cannot remember off the top of my head, but yeah, there hasn't been that much consistency within it, so I'm not mad if they do that. Lucifer can get into heaven relatively pretty easily. But yeah, a lot of great things. I thought the songs here were really, really strong in this arc as well. I mean, opening up with a number is really good. How all the demon overlords are just like, oh wow, Alistair has been caught. Wow, Vox really is coming in charge. He's really coming into play with everything. Thought that song was really good. And then the whole rally portion as well. Lucifer's song was fun. And Vox's, no, yeah, just one, because him and Lucifer kind of shared the first, that second song, and then the third song is just Vox's when they declare holy war, right? I like how both of them collided. I would have liked to see a little bit more Lute in this episode, because, you know, her whole thing is that she hates the princess, right? Why one of the best songs of this season so far, Gravity, is a whole, it is her whole motive. She hates the princess because they killed Adam. So what are we to do? And then, like, when she just goes there, she's just posing like Spider-Man on the lampshade, and it's just like, I feel like she would have at least been like talking back to Charlie in some way, shape, or form. Would have liked a little bit of a confrontation. I didn't need the full-blown fight, if you will. Again, now it seems like we're going to save Lute for season 3, because I do believe Hazbin Hotel has already been guaranteed for a season 3, so why rush the storyline, right? Okay, let's take care of Vox, and then in season 3, we'll really lock in on Lute. Hopefully we get some Lilith next week as well. We did not get her at all in this arc, in this whole entire season, really. All we know is that she's declining calls. I just want to hear a conversation. I want to hear her thoughts. I want to know what her plan is. I want to know why she's ignoring Charlie. But I do feel like now you either go one or two ways about it. You save it for a post-credit scene where she talks for the first time, because they have been dangling her like a carrot for quite some time here. So I feel like as an audience, we need to hear her speak. But it does seem like the overall arc and the learning lessons from Charlie is that she doesn't need her mother's validation. She doesn't even need her mother to be here. Because, her and Vaggy's conversation afterwards, when they finally reconcile after everything, and I was literally thinking this the whole entire time while they were fighting. I was like, oh, they just need to do the good old-fashioned talk and thrust, you know what I mean? Where, yeah, let's talk it out. Look, I was wrong too. Now, let's hump. Like, it's basically what that whole that last song was in the in episode 6. Which I think had the better songs. The 3 songs in episode 6, I think were better than the 3 songs in episode 5. But all 6 songs were really, really strong to me. But, Love in a Bottle, that one, I've actually been singing in my head quite a bit. And then, I don't know what the song's called. It's something Loser, but Angel's song where she goes, you are looking for that rush, that royal flush. Very, very good lyricism. There, I don't know if I said that right. And then, of course, Vaggy and Charlie's song, too. That I cannot remember. Shut Up, I Love You. Maybe that's the song title. I don't know. But I have had Love in a Bottle stuck in my head for quite some time. But all 3 of those songs in episode 6 were absolutely fantastic. But while they were singing, I was like, oh, this dancing is them hooking up. And sure enough, at the end, I'm like, yep. All right, now we can really lock in. That's just something that you got to do sometimes when you're in a committed relationship and y'all fighting with each other. Really liked everything we did with, I didn't love everything we did with Charlie. Where we got to in the end when it came to Charlie, then I was able to swallow it much better, because to me, she was just unreasonable the whole entire time. And that's not usually Charlie. She's the voice of reason. And the fact that, she's trying so hard. She's so hell-bent on her ideology and on her thoughts and what she needs to do. And, getting Emily involved. I do love what we did with Emily throughout this. We're like, okay, yeah, we give our gifts back and we say we're sorry. Everything's all good, right? That's not how it goes. And then while they're at the rally, I did side with Vox on a couple times. He was twisting words, and he's great at that. Twisting words crap. But, when he goes, our genocide is only worth a gift basket to them. I was like, he ain't wrong. That is kind of how they played it. Hey, we killed thousands of people. Yeah, we'll get some gift baskets. We'll put a little teddy bear in there that says sorry, and then we'll have some taffy in there. Surely they'll forgive us, right? Like, damn. And Emily coming face to face that not everything can be be cleaned up with sorry. Also like the callback with Pincha saying, hey, it starts with sorry. Yes, that's the start of the conversation, but you can't control the other side to just forgive you for that. And, I saw a lot of back and forth online about that where, people are like, well, Vox wasn't completely wrong. Well, it wasn't about them saying sorry for what they did. It's just apologizing in general. It's like, yeah, but, apologizing, you can apologize all you want. The other side has to be able to reciprocate that or not. And I again, what we did with Emily was really good. But, yeah, Charlie was a little frustrating here because she was so hell-bent on it. And then Baggy's calling her out. And I'm like, dude, you're hurting the hotel with doing all of these things. And then, get mad at her dad for trying to step up for her. But that whole portion was pretty funny when he was like, I'm not here. You're dreaming. That was pretty funny. But yeah, blaming everyone but herself for everything. Even though, again, she is also to blame for why the hotel is struggling so much. I am a firm believer in this. The best way to deal with controversy is to just not deal with it. Is to just ignore it. Okay, people are saying it. Move on. And I think that's what Charlie needed to do. Just keep working on their things. The people will come when they come. And, again, when we got to the end where it was just about, look, which is also kind of a rehash from season 1 in a lot of ways, but I don't necessarily mind it because I think we're all yearning for Lilith. So I really do feel like we all attach to Charlie a little bit more because we want Lilith here. I am curious to see what's Vox thing with Lilith because he's using her as a pedestal. I don't know if that's just to get a jab at Charlie or if he does know her in some way, shape, or form. Again, hoping that we get some of a resolution in episode 7 and episode 8. But yeah, once they're having that talk in the fort and, she's going, I was just hoping if this did work, my mom would come back and she would tell me why she left. And that she would actually still love me. And that she would want to be with me. And yes, season 1, I was kind of thinking like, oh, my dad also abandoned me too. Now she got the dad. Now she has to get the mom. But yeah, I really did like everything that we accomplished here. Husk with Angel was really good. The twist with Angel at the end too, that Vox has been in his head the whole entire time, and that's how he has been able to be one step ahead throughout the whole entire way. I kind of figured something was up. I by no means called the twist. But, you know, when Lucifer shows up, you know, to have his 80s song, rock song with Vox, and Vox calls him Lou. And I was like, oh, he also calls him Lou. I thought Lucifer had to give permission for people to call him Lou. How does he know to call him Lou? How does he know that he likes being called that? You know, and I was just like, well, you know, it's pretty common. If someone's called Lucifer, maybe, well, not, Lucifer's not a common name, but, you know, Lou is a pretty common for elf anyway. But I just chalked it up to that. But then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, they were foreshadowing it after the angel dust reveal happens. Really like that angel dust was the one that had to pick up Husk, saying, hey, loser. They're having a nice little conversation. He goes, hey, I'll see you back at the hotel. No, you won't. Husk coming back, and now it looks like Husk and Cherry Bomb are going to team up to go after Angel. But I would assume that Vox is on television with Angel Dust at some point. And then maybe Charlie feels a little bit betrayed. I don't know if I necessarily want to see that. But yeah. And also Alistair, even though we have barely used him this whole entire season, this mofo is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He is disrupting the V's from the inside and making them not trust each other. And that will be Vox's doing. Because again, it goes back to he needs a team. He needs support. He wanted to team up with Alistair because he wants friends. But he still wants it to be his idea, the ego, right? And then when they're at the rally, and then he's going, well, you know, yeah, you have to have him out there. And then he's saying, okay, no, I'll go out alone. Yeah, y'all stay in the back. And then over later on, and then when he's with Valentino, and, you know, he's kind of simping to him a little bit. Oh, wow, you have to ask Vox? And then he's like, no, you will do it, Valentino. I'm very curious to see how this all unfolds, because, again, Vox needs people. That will be his undoing, is that he does need a team. He can't do it all on his own. But I hope Vox doesn't die, because he's such a good villain, and I want him to stay evil. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this like redemption arc in season 3 or anything, but I want to see a Vox where he has nothing left to lose. When he is truly all alone and his back is against the wall, what is he going to do? So I kind of hope he makes it to season 3. I don't necessarily want to see him die, but again, I don't know what else the ending can be if that's the case. But yeah, I'm very curious to see the finale of it, to see how everything transfolds. Will we see Lilith? I'm curious to see how Emily's going to keep reacting. Will she be crying the whole entire time, or is she going to muster up and show a little bit of a fighting side to her? Will we cheer for Lou? How are we going to set up season 3? I enjoyed it, man. I love these 2 episodes. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made this far within the review. I do greatly appreciate it. And hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to go to my YouTube career. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give you also squeeze every opportunity that you can. And until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.